Okay, first of all, I just want to, thank Spartan Nation, thank our fans for coming back out there. That was amazing. It was very loud, exciting atmosphere. I know it wasn't packed after the 3.5-hour intercession, but they came back and they were passionate. So I want to thank them all out there and tell them go green. So unbelievable football game. Took 7 hours to get our 7th win. So, G-Ma Logan. 7 hours to get our 7th win, so I thought there were some great performances out there. And Penn State's got an outstanding football team. I think the key to the game defensively was that, we did shut down the run, so it made it difficult for them to run the football. McSorley creates, as you can see, very difficult to stop. Sort of hold your breath every series they got the ball. But, we were up to task, I thought, played pretty well, especially the first half into the third. And then that second, I'm just going to call it the intermission. After the intermission, played very well that 7 minutes. Offensively, Lewerke has another big day. It's tough sledding in there, running the football. We knew that coming into the game with Penn State's run defense. But I thought we threw the ball very effectively. Just a big win for us. And can't say enough about our football team. Coughlin makes the kick at the end, and he was set. Was not nervous at all when he went out there, and he was set and let it go down to 4 and, called the time, and here we go. So, big win, big win. I'll take questions.
Mark, has to be an NCAA first. Players ate pizza during the game, and some of yours took a nap.
Yeah, I saw a guy coming out of the shower. I looked at him, I was like, he goes, got to be fresh, Coach. So, that was, uncharted territory. We had guys laying down. We put the games on, the college football in the locker room, so they were watching college football. Some of them took a nap. We ordered some food. I think the biggest thing we did was we let everybody relax, and then we got our energy going again. We just said, hey, it's going to be an hour. Then we said it's going to be 2.5 hours. It was actually 3:22, all-inclusive, but I thought that we did a good job adjusting. But we talk about that all the time. Just assess the situation, adjust to it, and then let's go. And our guys just did that.
That was my question, though. How hard is it to keep an edge in an emotional sport when you sit there for 3.5 hours?
Well, I didn't ask him to keep an edge for 3 hours. I said, we'll get the edge back when we get ready to go. So we knew at one point that we'd have a half hour to get ready and then 13 minutes to warm up. So that's when we went back in there and said, okay, this is what we got to do. And periodically, coaches would go in and check on their guys. We just tried to be, it was abnormal. We just tried to make it as normal as we could and like we're beginning the game again. With our meetings and things like that prior to the game. And we went out and we played with a lot of emotion, a lot of energy, though.
Coach, you want to establish a run. You made that clear. You have 3 backs you want to go to in those situations. You just said it was going to be tough, and then there's the conditions. You come back, but you go tempo, almost counterintuitive to that, establish kind of an up-rhythm passing game. What was the thought process going into that? Why do you feel it worked so well?
Well, I think, first of all, Coach Warner did an outstanding job calling the games. I mean, again, you're not running the ball effectively, or you're not getting there. It's long yardage. We just turned to the pass a little bit, I guess. He did an outstanding job, and really, Lewerke was on. He was on from the beginning. I mean, he was throwing darts, I guess I'd say. So, and we're catching the ball very effectively. And really look at the guys. Hunter Rison has a couple big catches in that touchdown drive. Felton has 12 catches, I guess. We're 10 out of 18 on third down. Cody White has a big catch. I keep naming them. We got hurt by penalties again, which is very frustrating. We won the turnover margin 3-1, which is very promising, which is one thing we had to do. So we're +2 in the turnover ratio. So I think that, that happens. You can win football. You can win. You're going to hang around in a football game, and that's sort of what we did. We played well enough defensively to hang in there, and we did some really good things defensively, but they create a lot of different components that we have to defend. So I just thought it was an outstanding football game, a great crowd, unique game, big win against a ranked opponent. And again, it goes back to what I talked about before. November is really for contenders, and we put ourselves in position to at least be called a contender, and that's what we want to do, and we'll play them one at a time.
Coach, to your right in the back.
To my right.
After the game, Matt had a little piece of paper in his hand. He said it was a prayer card that you gave him before his kick. He said he didn't read it yet. Can you tell us when you gave it to him and what was the prayer on there?
Yeah, I can tell you that. 7 years ago, I said, anybody know what Psalm 91 says? And Kirk Cousins, 7 years ago, beating Penn State for the championship. I said, yeah, I know, Coach. And it says, tread on the lion and the cobra and trample the great lion. And that's what was written on it. So there you go.
So you had that in your pocket waiting to give to Matt for a big moment? Or?
Oh, that's my big moment.
Okay.
It was in my pocket. I just gave it to him and said, take it easy, don't worry about it if you miss it. I didn't say anything about missing. I said, don't worry about it, no stress. Kick the ball through. Tack through.
Back.
So I did.
Yeah.
Just talk about Brian Lewerke being on and that group of receivers. When you think about the idea that he's a sophomore and that those guys, you have one junior, a lot of freshmen, sophomores, do you get giddy thinking about the possibilities for that group?
Yeah, think about this. Here's a stat for you, all you stat people. I think we had 12 receptions coming back, returning receptions, guys who had caught 12 passes total last year coming in. Felton Davis got 12 today. So when you look and talk about the returners that we have coming back, you're going to have a lot of guys with a lot of catches and quarterback with a lot of yards, and we should become even more proficient and experienced as we go forward because we made some mistakes. But I think that those things are great for the future. We've been saying that all along that we're building. We're constantly. I think in college football you're constantly building because you're not going to keep your guys for 8 years. Sometimes it seems like it, for some people you're playing against, namely the guy next week. But you got to constantly evaluate, bring people along, change the guard, bring young players in, give them experiences and things of that nature. But I'm excited about the future. I have been.
Yes,
a young football team, but we have a young football team that is very energetic, very much team-oriented, and starting to become very sure of themselves, and that's positive.
You guys had Michigan in the rain a month ago, Ohio State a couple of years ago in the rain. What is it about this team in really bad weather against top teams that always seems to have a big game like that?
I don't know. We'll see what the weather holds next week. But I don't know. We're just playing. Everybody's playing through things. We're just playing through the adverse situations. And we're just gonna. We've won good weather games too. So.
Mark, after a rough 2016, you guys are in contention again, and like you said, a really young football team. How did you make sure that last year didn't destroy anyone mentally?
Well, I think, I don't know. I don't want to get too philosophical for you, but I think mankind in general responds to adversity. When they see something happens to them negatively, you can either go in a hole and bury yourself, or you can fight your way out of the hole a little bit. And you can go back to work. And, really from the day at the end of the season last year, the Penn State game at the end of the season, we went back to work as a coaching staff and then as players and coaches, winter workouts, spring ball, all of it. And, with the intent that we were going to win football games, knowing that it was going to be difficult and challenging because that's this conference that we have. You look around this conference, anyone can win. There are excellent coaches and dynamic players. But we knew we'd have a chance. We lined up and played hard, and that's what we're doing.
Mark, way over on the right. You're right. Way over. There we go. You said a tenet of yours is assess the situation and try to adapt to it. But you couldn't have had any situation like this to draw any experience from, so it was virgin territory. Where did you decide where to put guys, what they should do, what they couldn't do, or did you just kind of let it go?
Well, operations guys, Tim Allen and Brad Lunsford, they got things going. He was constantly going to meet with our administration and the two teams and giving us information back to us, letting us know what the weather was, how bad it was, what the time frame was, all those different things. And then, I think our players, we go through a lot of different change around here. There's a lot of things that we talk about, and we change up on the run to try and create a problem for them. And I just say, keep saying adjust, adjust, adjust. Assess, adjust, and then just get yourself ready to go, and then come full force again. And I think our players did that. But I'm sure Penn State came out live too. I mean, they were the same. Sort of. When you sit around for 3 hours, you're sort of ready to go again. You sort of regenerate things. So.
Mark, right up here in the front. Going back to Felton Davis, he had 12 catches. I think the next guy had 5.
Mm-hmm.
Does this offense run better when it has a go-to guy, and is he the go-to guy?
No, I wouldn't say he's the go-to guy. I mean, Cody caught 12 last week, I think, or 11. So, our quarterback spreads it around. We're throwing the tight end some. We're throwing the back some. We're throwing our wide receivers some. So I think if you look at the number of catches, we don't care who catches the ball. Get open. It's going to get thrown to you. That's pretty much the message, I think, that gets sent out there. Get open. It'll be thrown to you. And he spreads it around. I don't think he goes to one particular guy. Sometimes that there are plays designed to go to a specific person, but not too often.
Mark, Chris and Joe said they found out about the Ohio State score from Saquon Barkley out on the field.
Oh.
When did you find out what had happened? And did you even have time to think about what's ahead?
No, I don't have time to think about what's ahead. I'll think about that tomorrow. I just want to enjoy this. I found out about it when I came off field. Mark Hollis told me as I was coming off, I think, or in the locker room maybe. So we're just going to focus on the moment, enjoy that moment, and then when the next moment comes, attempt to be ready and do our very, very best. So, good, guys? Thanks.